he obviously knows the kind of player that Bly is. He knows the strengths and weaknesses of Bly, so he's going to adjust his gameplay a little bit. Like, Gabe will never play the same against Raynor and Serral as he would play against Bly, because that would just be silly. And Gabe is a lot of things, but that man ain't silly. He's obviously spawning on the top right side of Hardwire, probably looking to make his deepest run ever in the European regionals after that top 4 at Katowice. Representing Mouse Sports, it is HeRoMaRinE.
And on the bottom left-hand side, a true legend. I think the oldest player at 33 in the tournament. It is Bly. I mean, absolute beast. One of the most creative Assert players to ever play the game. Gonna open with a pull first here.
Oh, not quite. He opens up with a hatchery on the other side of the map. I was like, well, yeah, there's a pretty big blue dot on the minimap. Overlord's got a little fatter too, perhaps in the pandemic, but no, that's a hatchery on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I was focused on the camera here. It's an odd position for a hatchery down a ramp, but leave it up to Bly to go for, you know, for the hatchery that's gonna be less likely to get spotted because his opponent probably expects them to proxy hatch. Yep. And this is what I talked about this in the pre-game segment, right? So HeRoMaRinE has to anticipate that Bly will at some point go for a hatchery and go for the Ravagers from there, because that's just his signature move.
Yep, I actually remember a game on Submarine. Hey, this is good news for Bly, by the way. Gabe drops the CC on the low ground, and the SCV hasn't quite seen that hatchery yet. So when it comes to best case scenario, I kind of feel like this is best case scenario at this point for Bly. I remember a long time ago, Bly had a great game against Soul back then, now Spirit, on Submarine. And he played it out so smart. It was like aggression, transition, and they got such a good job with creep all over the natural, all over the third. He played one of the best games that I've ever seen him play, actually, and that was a big moment as well. Let's see how this one goes. Do you think that Gabe is just going to cancel that CC, or is he going to try to finish it up?
I think he tries to finish it off, and yeah, I can't blame him. I think you need that CC, because Bly can just set up a contain and then play a macro game if Gabe gives up the CC. So he doesn't have to overcommit. This is a very difficult strategy to hold. We saw Scarlet actually employ this, and no doubt she learned it from Bly against Clem to take a victory from Clem in the latest DreamHack tournament. So, or a Katowice, actually. That was a Katowice.
That's CC. Oh, both Marines go down, actually. Both Marines go down. Huge. Marine number 3 goes down as well. What a disaster for HeRoMaRinE. He loses all 3 Marines, so he's got a bunker on the low ground, but he's got 0 firepower. And I feel like I just saw a little smile there out of Bly. Now, Gabe does have the backup bunker, but this is about as bad of a start as HeRoMaRinE could have ever had. 1 Marine and now a Reaper. That's the only firepower he has, and he's going to have to buy a lot of time until a Cyclone or a tank is out. We're going to go with the Cyclone first. Man, if this is ever going to work, I feel like this is when it needs to work. Now, when you kill 3 Marines and SCVs like that, it doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, HeRoMaRinE is going for that Cyclone, not a tank, which, I mean, it makes sense to some degree against the Ravagers, but not so much if Bly commits, right? Like, because Bly could be droning up, but he's not. He is just moving on forward and gets past the bunker after getting rid of the supply depot. Leave it to Bly to be as expert
if he kills the Cyclone, he wins.
With these, and yeah, this is good trades.
Oh! What? The absolutely perfect corrosive vials there as all the Marines and the Reaper go down. That 1 Cyclone is the only thing that HeRoMaRinE currently has to work with. If Bly can kill the Cyclone, he straight up wins the game. Roaches get a couple shots off, but he did lose 4 Ravages though. So for as awesome and as exciting as that was, losing 4 Ravages is a very big deal.
Yeah, and now he starts droning up, but I mean, like look at this follow up from Bly. It's not really gonna accomplish anything. So if he was always gonna try to break through and do damage and kind of like not wait until he has a massive amount of units to try to end the game, I feel like he could have droned up earlier, because now these units stand very low chance to make anything happen on the side of HeRoMaRinE.
Droning up is very awkward there, because look at the position of that hatchery. That is not a normal hatch. And on top of that, Gabe can attack that hatchery from his main. So I think droning up is not really a thing, unless we actually get another hatchery on our side of the map. Yeah, that's hard. He needs to set up a booby trap. He needs to somehow get on top of these Cyclones, maybe split off the units, because it does seem like Gabe has stabilized now. And as much of a disaster this game has been for HeRoMaRinE, he's actually still in a really good spot now, unless he does something super crazy with the Cyclones.
Yeah, I can't help but to think that Bly put himself in a fantastic position. Again, if he had thrown up and, like you said, taken that base earlier, right? Like on the other side, I think right now he could have a lot. He has a lot of units, but that just means he has to end the game with those units, or else HeRoMaRinE is just going to pull further and further ahead economically with that CC, in spite of the really good biles. Now HeRoMaRinE is about to establish his natural base.
Yep, 9 workers ahead as well. Not a Overlord's going to get picked up. Now the Cyclones could be in a bit of danger. Gabe is obviously aware of that. But there's still one safety Cyclone, and we did rebuild the bunker. We've got a tank too. I think HeRoMaRinE is totally fine.
Yeah, the tank is really the exclamation mark here for HeRoMaRinE. The Roach is going to go in front to try to tank for the more fragile Ravagers, but the tank is in a beautiful position, very difficult to bile. One Ravager might reach the bile, but then the other ones wouldn't. So it would have to reposition. The tank probably gets 2 or 3 shots off before it goes down, and that's a few shots too many, as these links will get us around onto one of the Cyclones, but the shots of the second one free it loose, and HeRoMaRinE in a wonderful position.
This is a very unfair fight as well, right? Slow Zerglings against Cyclones. A few more slow links show up, but we really need Zergling speed. It's 20 seconds or so from finishing up. One Cyclone actually gets surrounded by slow Zerglings, and now the second Cyclone is going to get picked off too. But the worker count does not lie. Gabe does not skip a beat when it comes to building SCVs. Even if he can only mine off one base, he knows the moment he's able to stabilize that second base, he's going to be able to saturate that mineral line immediately. And his income is going to be more than double the income of Bly.
More than double is exactly right. I mean, that's just brutal. And now Bly is running out of options. I mean, another thing that I think he could have done is make a queen off of that proxy hatchery, and there should be easily creep here already. And that would delay things for HeRoMaRinE. It would force scans out of HeRoMaRinE. But yeah, Bly overcommitting here.
I think after we landed the perfect corrosive balls, I think we just needed to pray, right-click on the Cyclone, and hope we kill it. Because that was the only unit. But the moment we went down the ramp, we basically made it a lot easier for HeRoMaRinE. We gave him time to stabilize. Then you know there's going to be another Cyclone, and it becomes almost impossible to bust a one-base Terran. I think he just needed to pray in the main base that he would kill it. Like, you're always going to lose at least one Ravager immediately, but I think right-clicking on it would have been the best choice. At this point, this game kind of is over. That's a nice corrosive ball, but you're never going to kill 4 tanks in a bunker, though.
Never, ever. So a lot of Marines are going to expose themselves here, but as soon as they go back to tank shelter, they're safe, and HeRoMaRinE can trade as inefficiently as he wants to. 4 tanks now, that is just a lot.
5.
But yeah.
And Bly is still at 18 drones, which is very sad. We do finally have that queen, by the way, that you mentioned before. We're going to try to take out 1 tank from the low ground, and we successfully do that, but there are 4 more. So that doesn't change a whole lot.
Yeah, they're well spaced too, so 1 set of corrosive piles is only going to take 1 tank at a time. It's going to cost him a couple of Ravagers every time he goes for those, so not even an efficient trade. Oh man. Nice target firing by HeRoMaRinE. But yeah, this game's super over, Roddy. It's super sad. Again, like if we do an analysis of this game, I think a former version of Bly would have identified his position earlier, and he would have at least been consistent, because what he did there was really cool. When he opens up the ramp, he kills the supply depot and he goes in. But when you go in, usually that means your Ravagers are sentenced to death. So it's a matter of how much damage can you do to the SCVs that are going to be pulled, etc.
Exactly.
Right? So, but then you're sentencing the rest of your Ravagers to death, because if they deal with those first 4 Ravagers, then your reinforcements are not going to do anything. So those first 4 Ravagers and Roaches and whatever went into the main did amazing for Bly. The problem is that he kept on overcommitting to that. So it's either you don't go for that attack and you wait until you have a crap ton of units and then you go for the all-in, or you go for the attack and then you don't reinforce the attack and you start droning or making an expansion or something of the likes.
I think praying to kill that 1 Cyclone was probably the play. GG gets called. HeRoMaRinE wins after a 10-minute game on Hardwire. But definitely was probably sweating a little bit. When you lose the first 3 Marines already, you're like, okay, this is going to be a little bit awkward, but he did have the backup bunker. Very well done by HeRoMaRinE, because if he only had the bunker on the low ground, he would never be able to use that anymore. So having the safety bunker up the ramp, that was absolutely the play. Then Bly came in, landed a couple of great corrosive balls, killed SCVs, killed Marines, killed the Reaper. And there was just that one Cyclone left, but that one Cyclone was a bit too much to deal with. Oh well, that definitely got closer than what I think we all expected it to be. And it's very important for HeRoMaRinE that he wins 2-0 here, because this group, like we said many times already, has 3 absolutely amazing God-tier players for the European standards. We have Gabe, we have Lambo, we have MaxPax. I can see a world, many worlds even, where they all beat each other, right? Like MaxPax could beat Lambo, Lambo could beat Gabe, Gabe could beat MaxPax, could also go in a different order. So then map score does become very important, because obviously they all want to finish top 2 in this group, because you want to make it into the upper bracket of the playoffs. So Gabe does not want to drop a map today, and that actually was a bit of a shaky start, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Bly made it very interesting. Again, the position of the hatchery even was super interesting. Down a ramp is not usually where you put it, in range of the main of HeRoMaRinE as well. But I think he is accounting for that's the extra bit of crazy, right? Because normally you would put that hatchery on the left-hand side, but you're Bly, so you should expect that your opponent probably expects a hatchery, so you put it in the more inconspicuous location. The problem is now you've used your ace strategy as well, and it was going well, but it didn't go well. And now we're entering Blackburn, a map where it's, you're gonna go up a ramp if you want to do another proxy hatchery like that. I don't know what Bly can do here.
I mean, we got pretty close, so we may as well do the same. But this is also a map where Bly traditionally likes the Nidus. Like, I think a Nidus is a real possibility. We've seen it more than once. You make it seem like something else is happening in the front. Make it like, oh, it's just going to be roaches. I'm droning up. And then suddenly you hit them with the Nidus in the corner of the main. It shouldn't work at the absolute highest level. I love the words that Elazer said a while ago. If Nidus was good against Terran, I do it every single game. So basically he said, it's no bueno. But if you are a massive underdog, you may as well. Or we truly switch it up. And this time around, Cats, you were right. You were just looking into the future. It is spawning pool for us. But for now, bottom right side, the man who has taken the 1-0 lead in his opening series of this season. Hailing from Deutschland, it is HeRoMaRinE.
And in the bottom left-hand side, hoping not to also a gas. 2 gases. This is going to be a Ravager Rush. It's Bly.
When we play it like this, so no proxy hatch, no going up to 18 drones or so, but we just do it in the quickest possible way. I always think back of that game, and I just mentioned him, that Elazer had in Nation Wars. It was final game of Poland against Korea, and I think Elazer did it against either Innovation or Beyond, whoever it was. And it got very close, and everyone's like, oh, is Poland about to do it? But in the end, Korea did come out on top. That's the first time I've ever seen it. It's been a classic ever since. I don't know if it's great on Blackburn, because I feel like from main to main, this actually takes a very long time, doesn't it?
It does. And there is, again, 2 ramps, right? One ramp leading to the main and a ramp leading into the natural base. So if HeRoMaRinE ever pushes Bly back, it's going to be even more difficult for Bly to find space to breach into the natural again. So very difficult position already for Bly, but like you never know. I mean, he's super committed to this already with the double gas. There are some like 3 Ravager pressures that you can do off of a single gas. Off of 2 gas, you are as all in as it gets.
Yep. Double gas, 1 base. This is the absolute definition of an all-in. There is not really any scenario where you're like, okay, I did a lot of damage, now I can transition. The only scenario that would ever be is if you can get the Terran down to 1 SCV, maybe. Then you can be like, all right, maybe we can drone up, maybe we can take a second base, because even the 14 drones you have, like double Mew, is very close to that same economy. Gabe has scouted though, and Gabe decides no command center this time around, or he canceled it actually, right? He was building a CC, he canceled it, he lost 100 minerals so far, and he's just going to try to stabilize on 1 base, and I don't hate that call. I think it's pretty smart. Why make life hard when it can be easy?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he sees the double gas of Bly, and he's super far ahead in economy already, right? So just holding 1 base is perfectly fine if he can do it. Bly goes after the exposed supply depots. There's going to be 2 of those, which are mostly going to be free. Maybe combine the supply depot and the bunker at the same time here. So 2 for 1 in terms of damage, but the bunker's easily going to get repaired.
Yeah, at least that he takes out both depots before the third one finishes up though for HeRoMaRinE. So HeRoMaRine's not able to build a Cyclone yet, but running the Ravages into double bunker feels a little crazy. Marines hopping out of it. Gabe once more ends up losing all the Marines.
Yeah, and that exposes the second bunker. However, one of those Ravagers getting really low. Bly might want to reposition that one, but it falls.
Yep, the Reaper, actually, very good job there by Gabe, going from the left bunker into the right bunker, allowing that Reaper just to get one shot off and killing a Ravager.
Yeah, I have to say, still very good, like very strong veteran moves. Like, I mean, no one probably knows the limits of this poke or strategy like Bly does. Because, yeah, it looks so very difficult to go into two bunkers, but he was one attack away from dealing with one of those bunkers, and then all of a sudden you have that space open to work with, right? So, very cool move by Bly.
Trap! He's going to try to pounce on the Cyclone. That would be so big. Now, at least the Cyclone won't be able to get into the main for a little while. If Gabe doesn't pay attention, no, he doesn't. Okay, he does. Oh, that would have been big, man. Imagine he loses that Cyclone.
Yeah, but a little bit mistimed from Bly, trying to perhaps try to save the Overlord, because he could have waited for those two Ravagers to finish the flank and really checkmate that Cyclone. Instead, he pushes the Cyclone out and gives him a reason or a way to escape out of his own base.
We do have a backup Overlord, so we have once more created some high ground vision for ourselves. If we are on Team Bly, lands a lot of corrosive balls, but is not able to one-shot the bunker yet. Gabe now very awkwardly has a super low HP Cyclone in the center of the map. We're going to try to go for the bunker. This time around, we do get it.
Huge. Again, no one knows the limits of this type of strategy like Bly does, right? Like, he actually goes in, shoots one volley, and then goes for the bile. So knows just about exactly how much damage he has to work with. Now he's breached into the main. He does have a lot of Ravagers still, but these Cyclones are doing work. Here is where you might want to go forward. Instead, he's hoping the corrosive balls will land, but they will not.
Banshee is almost out though. With the Banshee out, the Ravagers just won't be able to do a whole lot anymore. And it's not just going to be Banshees, it will even be Cloak Banshees, which means that we're going to need some Spore Crawlers at home. Seems that HeRoMaRinE sacrificed his one Cyclone right in the left side. Yeah, it ran into a Roach. So yeah, this is kind of the end of the rush, and the worker tab tells us that it was unfortunately not good enough for Bly. He's still down 9 workers. He does not have an expand. Meanwhile, Gabe has Cloaked Banshees. No, he cancelled Cloak, actually. He had Cloak on the way, was more than halfway done. Cancelled it and instead went for a Fusion Core.
Bly is playing hide and seek with his Roach Ravager, like going around, avoiding the Banshee at all costs. Now sees the Cyclones he's gonna run in. But I mean, it's gonna be very difficult to find damage. That's gonna cancel onto the CC and can maybe get some SCVs. Yep. Yeah, 3 Ravagers are gonna be good for one-shotting those, but now the forces of HeRoMaRinE are back here. It spots the Fusion Core.
Yeah, how's Bly gonna deal with a Battlecruiser?
He's not.
Maybe Corrosive Ball. One Banshee does fly into the main base, and Banshee should be able to win the fight against the Queen, actually, one-on-one. If the Spore Crawler does not get a single shot off, the Queen is not going to have a good time. And there's no second Queen on the way. I mean, I'm afraid that this one is also kind of over.
Yeah.
There's no universe that Bly wins this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I think that the brightest point in this game was when Bly almost killed that bunker, and maybe he could have maintained the position, but then there was the second before the Banshee spawned, and he had like a bunch of Ravagers up the high ground. I think at that point maybe he has to just push on forward rather than, you know, continue to get tagged by those Cyclones.
We kill all the SCVs and we kill the starport before the BC is out. Corrosive Ball! That's some good corrosive balls. Can we kill the starport? Is there a universe where we kill the starport?
No.
No.
No, there isn't.
He does kill all the SCVs,
like all
though.
the SCVs, yeah, all of them, pretty much. That's actually crazy. Like half of his win condition right there. But yeah, now there's a battle cruiser and a little bit too much on his side of the map. So good effort from Bly, but he's gonna have to tap out. And that series that could have looked